maybe I can say I really like this guy, and he would be great for the ship, and maybe it has to fit with the schedules and all that stuff, Having been so long in the company, most of the guys on the bridge and the hotel for that, the officers, they know who you are, and so you come on board. I mean, you are never left alone, obviously, But as you come on board, if you are coming on board and you haven't been on these ships in a long, long time, there will be a lot of new faces, but you do your job and you get back into the swing of things very quickly. I mean, we have pretty a good way to run our business here. We have our calendars up and running, we have our meetings and all that stuff, So no, it's can you bring? Yeah, you can always request at least. Will it happen? Maybe. Not always. Yeah, it has to fit in with everything else.
Question on the service side?
I'm Diane from Arkansas. I was wondering what the daily operating expenses are for this ship.
It's a little bit difficult to say, but I can tell you the highest cost we have. It cost us about $50,000 a day, there and thereabouts, in fuel. $50,000 a day in fuel. The food cost is about the same, but $40,000 a day in food. You guys eat 16 meals, and then and the crew gets one. So that's about 40-ish. And then that's the two highest expenses, and then my salary and bonus, and then budgets, for maintenance and that kind of stuff. So we're talking, $100,000 on a daily basis. It's not unheard of,
Question.
Which you have paid for. Thank you.
Sorry, question on the port side.
Okay.
Hello, Captain. David and Susan out of West Michigan. Two questions for you. The first question is the notable harmonic thumping in the midship and aft. Is that from some baffles in the exhaust or something with the harmonic oscillations of having two engines that may not be synchronized? Second question, will Royal ever allow engine room tours again?
No. Engine room tour. A lot of people ask about the engine room. Who would like to go down to the engine room? Everybody, right? All 2,400 guests we have on board would love to go down there. It is impossible to do, so that is not gonna work out. The engine room is a potentially dangerous place. There's steep ladders and you have to have goggles and hearing apparatus and all that stuff. So we will not have organized tours in the engine room. Even if you pay, well, talk to me afterwards. And the noise you hear back there is that we are about to install this advanced purification process for the exhaust for the diesel engine that we have, and so we had to remove the silencer in the funnel in order to do that. So now it creates, and there is a vibrating a frequency back and forth. So you hear this sound, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's a work in progress that is going to be fixed there pretty soon. Just stay away from the area. It's a little bit irritating. Yeah.
Question on the starboard side?
Hello, Cheryl McLaughlin. My husband's with San Francisco Bar Pilot, and we miss you guys. Are you coming back to San Francisco and Los Angeles?
I know. We used to go in and out of. I've been in and out of Los Angeles many times. And was it San Francisco? You said? Yeah, San Francisco as well. And I love to come in there and on a good day, you go under the bridge. Well, you go under the bridge whether it is a good or a bad day. Can't really go over. But just the sight of seeing that is quite amazing. That's what we used to do back before. When I was here last time, we would come when we finish up the Alaska season. come mid-September, we would head south, and we would hit Eureka maybe, we would hit Portland, maybe hit definitely San Francisco, and down to LA and maybe San Diego, and start cruising out of there, you know, depending on what the itinerary was. Now this ship is going straight from Vancouver to Hawaii, and then continuing on down to Australia. And as of now, we don't have any other ships over here that is doing this, the California run, you know, for various reasons. I think it started some years ago when all the troubles in Mexico was happening, and that kind of scared a lot of people away. And also, it is from a regulatory standpoint, it is actually quite difficult to operate in California as well. You know, they put so many restrictions on that it becomes very difficult. I'm sure you're familiar with that, but. So, yeah, I mean, could we come there in the future? Absolutely. We would love to be back. I was actually captain on the Monarch of the Seas. She was out of San Pedro or LA. We would do our 3 and 4 day run down to Ensenada. We drifted down to Ensenada, and then we drifted back to, what's the island there again now? Huh? Catalina Island. And then we drifted to San Diego, and then drifted back to, I mean, everything is so close, you know. But it was great. You know, would love to come back, but as of right now, it's not. Sorry about that. And San Francisco's a great town for sure. Coming in there, and we would dock at, I think it's like Pier 35 or something, pretty close to the Fisherman's Wharf there. Brand new pier and everything. Yeah. I want to go. You know, they won't let me. Anyway, all right.
Question on the port side.
Hi, Larry and Helen from Missouri. A question of how you manage waste management on a ship of this size, and has it changed over the years since you've been a captain?
It has changed dramatically over the last 20-25 years, obviously. What we do here, we have 3 waste streams. We have food waste, which is one of the 3 food waste. We have something that we call gray water, and then we have something that we call black water. So the food waste, we all know what that is. That is food that is we cannot serve anymore, and you know, despite the fact that there isn't a lot of food waste because you guys really pile up your plates, which is fine. We don't want you to go hungry for more than 5 minutes, but there will be a little bit of food waste, right? Anything that has been served cannot be. It's not like at home you can, you know, wrap it up and put it in the fridge and have it as leftover tomorrow. You know, we cannot do that. We follow very strictly the United States public health rules and regulations. So anything that has been cooked and served, or not even served, but as long as it has been put on these, what do you call them? The big bins, and out. If it's not used, it has to go. So there will be a little bit of food waste. Now we have here what we call a pulper system, which is similar to what you have in your kitchen, a garbage disposal, right? So you have some leftover spaghetti, you throw it in the sink, you put some water on, you press the button, and it grinds it up, right? So we have the same thing here, and slightly bigger than the one you have at home, probably. And once it's ground up to a fine pulp, it is then collected in a large extraction tank, we call it. Once this tank is full, every 30 hours or 36 hours or so, a day and a half, we can then extract all the water from the food waste, and this water is then pumped into a large holding tank, and I'm going to come back to this tank. Now the food waste, which is you know, damp at this point, but still tasty, you know, still quite good. So what we do, we dry it, and then we freeze it, and then we sell it to Carnival. And yeah, they call it royal burgers. Anyway, we don't. But we burn it in the incinerator, and the food waste. The second waste stream we have, which is gray water, and that is all the water that we use when we shower, we cook and clean, we brush our teeth, anything that goes down into the drain. So that is then all funneled down into these large holding tanks and gets mixed together with the food waste water. Then the third one is our black water, and what do you think that is? It's the sewage, right? Anything that comes from the toilets around the ship and such, you know. So when you sit on your, make sure you lift up before you press the button, you know. Otherwise, not good. Anyway, it's a vacuum system we have, so it'll suck it down, and then we have to pick out not physically, obviously. There's a machine that will pick out things, plastic, anything that is not sewage, if you like. Once the poo has been cleaned, if I can say that, then it is pumped into the same tank together with the grey water and the food waste water, and it gets mixed really nice together, and we add oxygen to it. So this creates now a really nice soup. This soup is then pumped into a bioreactor, and this is a large tank that contains millions of little pellets which are filled with a specific type of bacteria that eat this type of waste. Once the bacteria has done its due, then what is left is simply what we call dirty water. This water is then screened numerous times to pull out any solids that are left in the water, which is then dried and burned in the incinerator. And at the last process, the water that comes out is squeaky clean. It doesn't smell anything. It doesn't taste anything. It looks exactly as it was a bottle of water. And it's true. And we store this then in a large holding tank, and we call that a clean effluent holding water tank. And once we are 15 miles away from nearest land, like right now, for example, we can pump this water overboard. Before it goes overboard, it will go through a ultraviolet filtration system, which kills any remaining bacteria in the water. So the water that goes overboard is actually squeaky clean. You could drink it, you can live off of it, no problem. We actually tried it in the dining room last week, no issues. So it is, the water that goes overboard, it is squeaky clean. You could drink it, nothing would happen to you. It wouldn't taste anything. So, and of course we have incinerators on board, so we burn a lot of garbage. We have a pretty sizable recycling program. Glass bottles are crushed, cleaned, landed for recycling. All aluminum cans are crushed together, landed for recycling. Paper, card box, which is not contaminated by food, is landed as well. If card box is, and from the provision, that gets burned in the incinerator, and so on and so forth. So we're actually very proud of how we handle the garbage and that process. Nothing other than squeaky clean water goes overboard, and if it cannot be otherwise prepared on board or landed for recycling, it will be landed as dry garbage in various ports. So that's how we do it. Okay.
Question on the starboard side in the back.
In the back, we're coming close to an end, so the questions need to start to get good. All right. Where are you? There you are.
Hi, I'm Liza from Toronto. This is my third time to take Royal, but it's the first time to have this big wave. So the question is this wave normal for the Alaska tour? Or is it abnormal? Or?
So the waves here today are not very big. It can be a lot bigger, although during the summertime it is not that often they get bigger. But 6 feet, 7 feet waves, 7 feet is about this high. It can be quite normal. It could be 15, it could be 20 feet as well. However, that is not necessarily all that often it happens. You have to realize this is the Gulf of Alaska. The only thing south of us now is what? Hawaii. So it's open waters, So, but as of now, I mean, the seas are getting less and less. It's quite calm, and you don't feel any movement in the ship now, do you? No? Nothing. So you're going to be fine. Don't worry. Okay. Anybody else has a question? A little bit past 2 o'clock. You there? Okay, this one got to be good.
No pressure. Sue from Alice Springs in Australia. You've talked about waste disposal. We seem to consume an awful lot of papers with the newspaper coming out every day and brochures and flyers. Is there any way of doing that via some sort of app?
So as technology is moving along, you know, and you are correct in saying that we produce a lot of paper, all the cruise compass and different things. Far too much paper. I totally agree with you. But as of now, the technology it's picking up quite fast, you know. And I think in the future we will start to see that instead of handing out all these paperwork on a daily basis, and we're talking thousands of paperwork every day. We actually have our own printing shop on board with a big printing machine, full-time printers working there to churn out all this paper. So we would love to get rid of it, but we still have to wait for the technology to be there. And the technology is coming, but we don't have it just yet. But it's definitely coming, and that's something that we are looking very much forward to, for sure. Okay, I think that's, oh, do we have one more? Okay, fine.
I'm Jacob from Los Angeles. I heard one of the past questions that you guys don't go out of Los Angeles anymore. We're from Los Angeles. We were gonna look for a cruise from LA. Aside from going to the East Coast, would you recommend, or is there anywhere that Royal Caribbean up the coast goes from? Sorry.
No, on this side of the world, we don't have anything here. You know, we used to, as I said, unfortunately. But you know, it's a 5-hour flight to Miami. You know, and that's where you have all this good stuff. You know, the Oasis. You know, take my word for it. If you really, have you been to the Caribbean? You have been, but you haven't yet. Oh, you are from Fort Lauderdale. Okay. So you know, check it out. Go on the Oasis or the Allure or the Harmony when she comes over, and you know, give yourself 1 week, fly to Fort Lauderdale, hang out for a couple of days. It's fantastic. You know, I love it. I live not far away from there, so might see you at Publix actually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope you have had a fantastic time. Thank you, and you know where we are, you know who we are, so come back and see us soon. Huh? How about that? And thank you again. Have a
So
good
one more time, everybody, please.